Welcome to your session on collaboration and co-teaching. Our objectives for today, by the end of today's session, you will be able to identify different models of co-teaching, and you will be able to work with co-teachers to provide excellent instruction to your students with special needs. We have an agenda here to go over. These are the sequences of learning activities. I still have Steven's eyes on me. I have Alex's eyes on me. You've just done your do now, which is task number 1. We'll be taking some notes and doing some group practice and share out. Then we'll move to a whole class brainstorm, another group discussion and share out. We'll have some partner role. This is Teach for America. You know we're going to role play. So we're going to do some partner role plays. There will be an exit ticket at the end, and then finally our raffle. You guys did a fantastic job on that do now. I was super impressed. I'm going to go ahead and give another class point. Because this session is about collaboration and co-teaching, we are attempting today, the entire school team, the Odo school team and I are attempting to model co-teaching like you might be asked to do in your region with a special education co-teacher. So I will be the primary facilitator today, but I'm going to be kicking it to various people in the room to help me facilitate this session. So that said, Whitney, can you give us a cheer that we can use to welcome Cassandra, who's going to lead us through our do now?
Of course. So, to welcome Cassandra into the classroom today, what we're going to do is called the squishy marshmallow. So could you please give Cassandra a big squishy marshmallow? It looks like this. Squishy marshmallow.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so folks, we're going to go over the do now. Can I have somebody wearing a pink sweater read answer question number 1 for us? And as you do that, we're going to write down the responses together. Somebody wearing a pink sweater, go ahead and answer question number 1.
How might students with special needs benefit from being in the general education classroom? Try to list at least 3.
And answer.
So I came up with 2. I said there's a different perspective that can be sort of like presented to the students, and then also there might be a learning style that does work really well amongst both students with IEPs and students without IEPs.
And can I get a third one from somebody wearing a black t-shirt?
Social inclusion.
Awesome. Let's give some squishy marshmallows for the people that volunteered for the first round. Awesome. Can I get somebody wearing sandals to answer the second question for us? How might general education students benefit from being in the same classroom with students with special needs?
Learning to work with people of all backgrounds, developing traits like helpfulness, and practicing the material through teaching.
Character development.
Awesome. I see Noelle is actually writing down some of these answers, which is a very responsible thing to do.
Awesome. Can I get somebody to tell us how might all students benefit from having more than one teacher in the classroom at one time? Somebody who is going to be teaching at Ochi or Donovan in the fall. If you are teaching at O'Donovan or Ochi in the fall, please answer question number 3.
I think that students may benefit from having more than one teacher in the classroom because they will know that there is always someone watching them, so they will not feel that they have to, or they have the opportunity to misbehave.
Thank you for that insightful response. Can I get somebody with an orange shirt to add another idea to that? Someone with an orange shirt. What's another benefit? Yes, sir.
Students will have an additional person to give them positive narration.
Yes.
One other person is doing the INM or the GP.
And can I get somebody wearing a purple jersey to give us the third response?
It's a good way to keep students on task.
Awesome, on task support, thank you. Can we get some squishy marshmallows for the people that answered questions 2 and 3? All right, can I have a volunteer? Anyone in the crowd answer question number 4? How might the teachers, us, how might we benefit from collaboration? Yes, ma'am.
Caitlin.
Sure. Caitlin,
More creative ways to teach, like more ideas of creative ways.
creative Awesome. Can I get another volunteer? Yes, Tiffany.
More perspectives on student needs, like how they're doing and what can be done to help them.
Yes. Another thought? Yes, sir?
Faster responses to issues in the classroom.
Yes, quick responses. Yes, ma'am.
More like facilitators for independent practice.
All right. And the last idea, Rachel.
You'll be able to build deeper relationships with individual students more quickly.
Yes.
Thank you, Cassandra. Can we give Cassandra a squishy marshmallow, please? Awesome, thank you guys. And we're gonna move pretty quickly into the direct instruction portion of this, or the introduction to new material, I guess is what we're calling it now. And that is, I'm gonna explain a little bit about why we're here. It is very, very likely that in your region, you are going to be paired with a special education co-teacher. Now, we are all special education teachers. We are all going to have kids with special needs in our classrooms, and we're going to teach them all. So we are all, we all need to have the skills to teach kids with special needs. However, it is best practice in many schools to pair regular education teachers and special education teachers together to work together, teach together to support students who have special needs. And that's what this session is about. I'm going to go over some of the models that schools use to facilitate this co-teaching, and then we'll do some practice on those modeling, and then we'll talk about, on those models, and then we'll talk about what are some of the challenges that can arise having two different teachers in the same classroom. And I want to completely honor and respect the fact that you guys have been doing this all summer. You've been teaching the same kids in a collaborative all summer. Collaboration. So I want to hear from you and honor your work and your ideas about how we can navigate tricky situations, because who would have a better perspective than you guys? So I'm going to go ahead and move into just a really brief notes portion. And that is that collaboration and co-teaching are components of what's called an inclusion model. An inclusion model means that special education students are included in the general education classroom. This is part of something called the least restrictive environment. That's on the second slide, which means that special education students are in general ed classrooms. Awesome. I see Natasha taking notes. I see Levi taking notes. This is part of what's called the least restrictive environment. The least restrictive environment is a law that says special education students must be included as much as possible in the general education curriculum. So we do not take students who have disabilities and automatically put them in a separate classroom with a separate teacher and they don't interact with the general education population. That does not happen except in the most sort of dramatic circumstances. So the law says that if a student can learn and can access the curriculum in a general education setting, then that's where that student needs to be. And that's where I want them to be as well, for all of the reasons that people noted in their do now. So what we're going to do now, if you flip the page, please, is we're going to move into a little bit of group work. Yes, ma'am?
Can I make a comment? I feel like this is a question. I'm kind of wondering your opinion on this.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends, in my experience, that have gone to certain special education schools, and therefore, that's been really path-changing for them. They were schools for specific schools for special education, and they had really good experiences with them. Why do you not think that's? Do you think that's an equally good opportunity for students, or do you think I just wanted to know opinions, I guess.
So I actually don't have that experience. I don't think I can speak to that. I wonder if other people can, because I haven't known anybody in that situation personally. Thanks, Alec. And then
Yeah, my sister is like a very high needs special education student, and she was pulled out of school to be put in one of those schools. And like, there's a couple reasons why they won't work, especially for us teacher and NAGA teachers. They're really expensive. Generally, schools that cater straight to special education needs students are really expensive. Also, like socially, it isolates people who are special needs, especially if they are capable of being social and like out in the world, and they need these life skills that they can't learn at those schools because they're integrated with kids that generally aren't social or like willing to help that person develop themselves. So for my sister, it was like a horrible experience, and it was putting her family in a bad financial situation. So they pulled her out and like put her with a resource teacher in all the general educations, and she like grew a lot. So I think it's better for the most part, especially if a special education student is able to access the curriculum from a general education. It's a lot better for them to be in a general class with everyone, and it like is better for them as a person. However, it is like difficult for the teacher and the special student at times, but I feel like that struggle creates a lot of growth.
Thank you for sharing, Alex. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Meredith, yeah.
Mine's actually really similar because my sister went to a special education high school and middle school in Los Angeles, and like again, it was like really expensive, so it's really hard for like most people to have access to it. But for her, it was kind of the opposite. She like when she went to school with me and my brother, which was just like a normal school in Los Angeles, it was really hard for her to like strive and have confidence because she was always like she didn't know how to learn the material the same way as the other students, so she always felt really stupid and dumb and like had no confidence in school, and now she is at like a great college on the East Coast, so it really boosts your confidence. So I think it can have social skills as well as teaching them like the critical skills they need.
Thank you, Meredith, for sharing that as well. I'm going to move us along. I think like we are the fact that we are all going to have special education students in our classrooms. Their families have made choices that, like, even if they had the means to go to a different school, their family choose to send them to a public school that we are teaching in. And so the point of today is to think about how we can work with other teachers to best support those students, like given the choice that their families have made. I want to thank everybody in here for showing so much respect when Meredith and Alec were sharing out. So I'm going to go ahead and add another class point. So I'm going to give some instructions now for how the group work is going to work. You're going to be doing this in groups of 4. You have here a resource. It is a list of co-teaching models. You are going to be referencing this resource as you complete this guided practice in your groups. The directions are at the top. It does go on to the next page a little bit. There are 6 questions. I am going to give you 10 minutes to attempt to complete this, and then we will share out. Now, the expectations for group work are you are going to be using in your voices, and you are going to be using your group work roles. They are here. It is up to you to assign one role to each person in a group. The name of the role is at the top, a brief job description, and then just some examples of what that might look like and sound like. I will be circulating to make sure people are fulfilling their group roles and to answer any questions that you might have. Let me do a really quick check for understanding just to make sure everybody's clear on the process. Who decides who gets which group role in the group? Sean, do you know? Yeah, you just divide them up. Yeah. Divide them up however you want to. Hey, Jessica, what if I'm not sure she just took a bite of food. I'll pick on someone else. Donald, let's say, like I'm not sure, like, oh, I'm the facilitator, what does that mean? How would I find out?
On the slip of paper.
It's on the slip of paper. Great job. Okay, so we'll have about 10 minutes to do this. Please find a group of 4 and immediately get to work.